formed against me shall prosper. I am more than a conqueror. I'm waking up out of nightmares, gasp for breath. Living in these last days, enemies after my death. Palms can't hold these tears, heart was cold for years, only to find out the enemy was in the mirror.
We are in a series entitled Yahweh's Blood Covenants. He shall take a wife in her virginity. So let's start out where we left off last week in the New Testament in 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. Yahweh's blood covenants. He shall take a wife in her virginity. And what Yahweh is showing us through this series is that after we repent and are baptized and come up under Yahshua's blood, we are taken back to our virginity.
Yes, we are.
And Yahweh even says that we become totally new.
Yes, we
newborn. 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. And Yahweh is actually raising us up from babies, spiritual babies, forward.
Yes, he is.
And what we have to do is just cooperate.
That's it.
Just become like little children.
Hallelujah.
Yahshua took a child and used him as an example and said, we have to become as little children.
Yes, we do.
Because sometimes in this world we can become hardened and we can become resistant. And we have to deliberately get rid of that mindset. And to deliberately get rid of being like that.
Yes.
And being so hard and thinking that we know certain things. Because Yahweh will show us that we actually don't know them.
We don't.
All right? So we don't know that when we were out in the world and didn't know Yahweh, that we lost our physical virginity.
All right,
That Yahweh actually has restored it to us.
Yes, he has.
We wouldn't know that if he didn't show us how. Now, what we also see from this series, we see spiritual Israel are virgins, and we see that in the Bible, virgins are men and women.
Yes, they
not
are.
just women. All
Tell like it is,
Let's read 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 32, please.
Hallelujah.
1 Corinthians 7 and verse 32 reads,
But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the master, how he may please the master.
all right, so but I would have you, he's talking to us, his people.
Right.
He that is unmarried, that's talking about virgins also.
All right.
Now, out in this wicked world, when you say unmarried, that could be some of anything. But Yahweh is talking about virgins, all right? He that is a virgin careth for the things that belong to Yahweh,
Okay.
how he may please Yahweh. Let's skip down to verse 34.
There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the master, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband.
All right, so now we see the woman. In verse 32, you saw the man that's unmarried or a virgin. Verse 34 says there's a difference between a Iyshshah and a virgin. The unmarried Iyshshah, that's a virgin, cares for the things of Yahweh, that she may be Kadash, both in Gibeah and in Ruah.
Okay.
That's what's been lost
Right.
in this world.
Right.
And misunderstood the preciousness
Okay.
of our natural virginity and our spiritual virginity.
Yes.
But Yahweh is bringing it back to us. He said, but she that's married care for the things of the world, and then the Ruach quickeness to me. He said the things of the world, how she may please her Iysh. So Yahweh said that's a worldly thing. Now it's not a bad thing, but he's just saying virgins without husbands and without wives care more for the things of Yahweh. We can be married and have Yahweh as first place, but Yahweh said you got to do a balancing act.
Right.
Isn't that something? The Ruach
That's it.
jumped out at me.
That's it.
She that's married cares for the things of the world. And then he qualifies and said, what's that? How she may please her Iysh, her husband. It's not bad, but Yahweh classifies that as a thing of the world. All right, let's go in the New Testament to Matthew's, the first chapter. So virgins are more devoted to Yahweh. We saw that with these scriptures in 1 Corinthians. They don't have any impediments or any thing to stop them from doing all they can for Yahweh. They don't have any time limits.
Right.
And that's one reason why Yahshua was born of a virgin. New Testament, Matthew's first chapter. And the word Shareth for, we just said it last time, is a Greek word meaning to have careful thought about and take thought about the things of Yahweh.
Okay.
All right, when you're married, then there are other things that you have to take thought about. All right, then you have to see how Yahweh can get in there.
That's right, you balance it.
All right, Matthew's 1, and let's start at verse 22.
Hallelujah.
So that's one reason why Yahshua was born of a virgin, because virgins are more dedicated to Yahweh. Matthew's 1, that's why he remade us into virgins.
Yes, praise be to Yahweh.
1 and verse 22, please.
Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of Yahweh by the prophet, saying,
23.
Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which, being interpreted, is El with us.
All right,
Hallelujah.
so now it's talking about Yahshua's birth.
Okay.
And he was born of a virgin. That was the purest way for him to be born. All right? One, because virgins are more devoted to Yahweh. And two, because we'll see that no man, she didn't have to deal with that pleasing her husband, that wasn't going to interfere
Right.
with her conceiving and receiving what Yahweh told her was going to happen. It says, Behold, a virgin shall be with Zakar, and shall bring forth a bond, and they shall karah Yishem, Emmanuel, which is being interpreted, Elohim with us.
Okay.
Verse 24.
Then Joseph, being raised from sheep, did as the angel of Yahweh had bidden him, and took unto him his wife.
It said, Then Yahshua, being raised from sleep, did as Hamalek of Yahweh had told him to do. And now, we're dealing with two virgins. It wasn't like Miriam was the only virgin in the relationship. This is how we as ancient Israel did. We were righteous people.
Praise
And these are
the
people
mighty
that are following Yahweh. The angel wouldn't be talking to him,
Right.
telling him something to do that
If
Yahweh
he
knew he
found.
wasn't going to do.
Right.
Said, Then Yahshua, being raised from sleep, did as Hamalek of Yahweh had told him to do, or commanded him to do, because it's from Yahweh. When Yahweh's talking to you, it's a command.
It's a
It's
Shabbat.
not an option. It's
No,
not
it's
as you
not.
like it when you do it when you feel like it. And took unto him his Iyshshah. Now they hadn't come together as husband and wife yet. All right, verse 25.
And knew her not till she had brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Yahshua.
All right, it says that they didn't come together as husband and wife.
Right.
Or consummate the relationship. Or like Yahweh showed us in the other show, where ancient Israel would examine the bed sheets to make sure that that blood covenant was intact.
Right.
And that the woman was indeed a virgin.
Right.
And that the marriage was valid, because that's how they got married, and that's how they came up under one of the blood covenants of Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
So blood is very important to Yahweh.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It says, And he Yada or knew her not, in other words, did not have relations with her, until she had brought forth her firstborn bond, and he karah Hashem, Yahshua, or salvation, or rescue, deliverance. J-E-S-U-S does not mean that. Yahshua means that. You can look it up in the Hebrew and see.
Praise the mighty Yahweh.
All right, let's go to the New Testament, Luke, the first chapter. So Yahweh returns us all to virginhood through
Yes,
his
he
blood
will.
covenant.
Yes.
Luke, New Testament, the first chapter. We're going to start at verse 26.
Praise
And
the
both
mighty Yahweh.
Joseph or Joseph and Miriam or Mary were both virgins before they married.
All right.
Because they were righteous people.
All right.
And you can, as Ruah keeps saying, see how far Israel has fallen. Because the nation of Israel was the model for everybody else.
That's right.
And we see now that the nation of Israel sometimes exhibits the biggest whorish behavior.
I know, right.
Why? Because they don't know who they are.
That's it.
That's right.
They think they're the scum of the earth. They think they're trash. They think they're supposed to have
Y'all
all
right,
these babies
tell
by all
like
the
it is,
different,
Ron.
you know, women and men. They think that's who they are.
Teach, sister.
They think they're
teach.
still in slavery. They think they're still producing offspring for Willie Lynch and the slave master.
Teach, sister. Teach it. Teach the truth.
Subconsciously.
Teach the truth.
What other explanation do you have for all this craziness that's out here?
Teach, sister.
All
Teach
right,
the
it's
truth.
spiritual.
Mental
It's not just
bondage.
physical, it's spiritual.
Yes, it is.
So Joseph and Miriam were both virgins before they married. All right, Luke 1, and let's start reading in verse 26, please.
And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from Elohim unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth.
Now, when you look at the 6th month in the Bible, Yahweh's always talking about his months.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And when you look at the 6th month, now we're going to be going into the blowing of the shofar, which is the blowing of trumpets, this particular month. So the 6th month in Yahweh's calendar was last month. This is actually the 7th month of Yahweh's calendar, but it's the 9th month in the Roman calendar.
Right.
All right, so we go by Yahweh's dates and we go by Yahweh's
All right.
times, except that in this system, there are some things that we go by, which is not against Yahweh's law. If you have to be at work on a certain date, you don't think about, okay, according to Yahweh's calendar, I'm not supposed to be working on this date. The only date he said you're not supposed to work on this is weekly Shabbat and
That's
yearly
it.
Shabbat. All right, so Yahweh has to bring us to an understanding. But in the 6th month, Hamalach Gabriel was sent from Elohim into a city of Galilee named Nazareth. He's coming to let Yahweh's Ruach HaKodesh, which Gabriel is not,
Okay.
shine over this virgin
Tell like it is.
so that she can become impregnated. All right? So sometimes our natural mind will get confused because, okay, the Malach is an angel, and so then he came and he had a relationship with Mary. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. All right? We'll let Yahweh tell us what happened. Verse 27.
To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary.
All right, so this is part of the priesthood here that you're dealing with. All right, it says to a virgin espoused or betrothed or engaged to a Adam, a man, whose Shem was Yasser, of Habayit Dawi, and the virgin Shem was Miriam. Now, years ago, there was a sister, and she was studying the Bible, and then there was a brother and sister that were engaged, hadn't got married yet, or betrothed like it says here, and then she's telling me how they're having relations.
Huh.
And then she said, you know, because the scripture says, you know, they're betrothed. I said, sister, there's no scripture that says just because you're engaged or
Right.
betrothed that you get free sex before you actually
That's
get
right.
married.
That fornication.
It's not in there. And I, you know, I just told her because the brother and sister she was talking about, they were not a part of any temple. They were
Okay.
actually going to a Sunday church.
Huh.
So if she was counseling the sister, then maybe she went back and told her, maybe she didn't. But my thing was, you're studying the Bible. So you shouldn't be thinking that just because you get engaged to somebody,
Right.
because they can break the engagement off.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what some people are
That's
doing.
right.
They don't understand
That's
Yahweh's
right.
way.
Teach. Right. Get
All
you
right.
left in sin.
Right. Verse 28.
And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, Yahweh is with thee. Blessed art thou among women.
So, and Hamalach came into the room now.
Right.
Not into her, see, because people have all this
I know,
natural
right?
stuff going on. That's why Yahweh gave us his Ruach,
Hallelujah.
his Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
to help us rightly divide, because we've been looking with carnal, natural
Yeah.
eyes all of our lives
Yes,
until
we
we
have.
come to Yahweh.
Right.
And Yahweh brings us up higher so we can
Hallelujah.
really see. He came into the room.
Into the room.
All right.
And continue reading.
And he Amar, he says, Shalom, thou art highly favored. Yahweh is with thee, Barak art thou among Iyshshah. Now she want to understand, well, what is this? All right. Some people just say, yeah, I'm blessed and highly favored. And she wants to know, okay, this Malach is talking to me. What does he mean?
Right.
She understood about Yahweh. All right,
Okay.
verse 29.
And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salvation this should be.
What manner of salutation this should be.
Right.
Yes, verse 30. You're doing fine.
And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with Elohim.
Verse 31.
And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahshua.
All right, so she didn't say anything. She's thinking in her mind.
Right?
And you notice how Yahweh had told the Ruach, told the angel,
Uh-huh.
because Gabriel is an angel. Again, he is not Ruach HaKodesh.
Not God's
That's
power
Yahweh's
source.
personal power source.
That's right.
Just like he gave us a part of Ruach HaKodesh
Right.
to be within us, to lead us and guide us.
Hallelujah.
It said, and behold, thou shalt conceive. He said, don't be afraid, Miriam. You're going to become pregnant. You're going to bring forth a bond or son, and you shall call his Shem, Yahshua, salvation, rescue, deliverance. All right, verse 32.
He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And Yahweh Elohim shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
So he's clarifying it even more. He shall be great and shall be called Haban of El Elyon, the highest. That's Yahweh. It has nothing to do with an angel. All the angel, Yahweh said, well, go tell her
It's
this.
a messenger.
Because Yahweh's word, you'll look at it and search it out, is a seed.
Okay.
This actual word that we're reading are seed.
Yes, it's being planted.
And Yahweh said, the sower. He made us sowers.
Okay.
And right now, Ruach HaKodesh through me is sowing the word.
Hallelujah.
And it's being planted within
Hallelujah.
your inner man,
All right.
within your Ruach. And that's where it grows up and produces.
Yes.
So Yahweh said his word is a seed. He sent the
Yes.
angel Gabriel to speak that word
Right.
as a seed
Right.
and break it down and explain to her. And when you read the rest of the account, you'll see that Miriam received it and she said, be it unto me according to your
Hallelujah.
word.
Hallelujah.
That's when Ruach HaKodesh came into
That's
her
right.
and
That's when it was
impregnated her.
planted.
Search it out. Yahweh's word is a seed.
Yes, it is.
And he said the sower sows the word, which is the seed. Okay, so we have to get out our natural mind trying to figure out how this happened.
Okay.
Verse 33.
And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end.
Praise God.
34.
Then said Mary unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man?
All right, so she said, I'm a virgin.
Right.
How's this going to happen?
Right.
Why? Because she wants to get it straight what Yahweh has given her.
Okay.
And we have to get straight what Yahweh's given us and
Yep.
learn how to receive it.
Yes.
There's so many people out there trying to block you from receiving what Yahweh has provided for you.
Praise the
When you went into that water and you got baptized and you came up out of it, Yahweh says you have an inheritance.
Yes, we do.
Not only after you leave here, but you have an inheritance now.
Now.
There are things that you
Now,
receive at
promises.
salvation.
Yep.
All right, so Miriam is saying, all right, how is this going to happen seeing that I'm a virgin? And then you just read the rest of the account, and he explained it. But the
Okay.
reason that Yahweh had Yahshua born of a virgin is because virgins care more for the things of Yahweh.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the Old Testament, to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, the Old Testament. So Yahshua being born of a virgin was the purest way for him to be born into the earth.
All right.
The Bible repeatedly speaks of virginity with respect
Yes.
and honor.
Top honor.
That's why we speak of it with respect
Yep.
and honor.
God's honor. Top honor.
And if you don't know to speak of it with respect and honor, if you're going to tell somebody, you know, we have to see if we're sexually compatible before we get married, run away from that person.
I know, right?
Boy or girl, run away, because that's a lie from the devil.
I know, right?
That's somebody in ignorance that doesn't understand what Yahweh is saying.
Right.
Yes.
Y'all
The
right.
Bible speaks of it with respect
That's like
and
it is.
honor, and we speak of it the
Yes,
same
it
way.
is.
2 Samuel 13. Gonna read one verse, verse 18. 2
Hallelujah.
Samuel, chapter 13.
Praise.
And he even had them wear different garments, so they
Okay.
could tell they were virgins. And there's this show that I was watching. I watched decorating shows, but there was this show where these people, they're gypsies. And they, come from European countries, but they're over here in America. And they wear the horse looking clothes. Now they get married when they're 15 and 16. And I understand that they're virgins, but they just wear the most horse looking clothes. And this is, and all made up and everything. And this is just, they pride themselves on being virgins. But the way you look at them,
All right.
you wouldn't know. And I guess that's why they get married so early. Because that just, they just wear the shortest, tightest, little mini, little skirts and mini pants and high heels. And when you see them, you wouldn't know
Right.
that they were virgins. But they're gypsies. And they pride themselves on the virginity of the boys and the girls. But they got that from Israel.
All right. That's right.
Israel is the top.
That's right.
Israel are the prize virgins.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
2 Samuel 13, verse 18.
And she had a garment of divers colors upon her, for with such robes were the king's daughters that were virgins. Upheld then his servant brought her out and bolted the door after her.
All right, so now just talking about one of David's daughters. She had on a garment, clothes of divers colors upon her, for with such robes were Hamelech's Bath, or daughters, that were virgins apparelled. So virgins are supposed to be wearing different clothes, people. We shouldn't be dressing our children like everybody walking up and down the street.
Right.
And in your mind, like some people say, remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy, and they're working on a secular job getting paid. Well, in our minds, we have gotten into saying, well, you know what? I know my daughter's a virgin. Don't matter how I dress her. Or I know my son's a virgin. Doesn't matter. Let him go out with his pants pulled down and his drawers hanging out. Again, if we as a people of Yahweh don't stand up and hold up the standard.
Hallelujah.
Now, people have a choice. Except if it was my child.
Okay.
And I was buying the clothes.
Okay.
That son and daughter, and my husband thought the same way. They wouldn't be wearing different things. Now, after they leave the house, they might change what they're wearing. But guess what? Yahweh will get it back
Right.
to me and my husband.
Right.
That they changed their clothes.
Right.
And then I'm going to confront them. It's like, hey, we didn't buy this for you.
Right.
Where did you get that? Somebody told me you were wearing this and this and this. If it's coming out of my pocket, you're not going to be going looking like these
I know, right?
Romani gypsies or whatever they are. It's not enough in my mind to know that you're a virgin.
Right.
Because Yahweh said it's not enough. He said the daughters were dressed a certain way
Yep.
to signal that they were virgins. And then in the European ceremony, they say you wear a white dress. Well, you got all kind of whores wearing white dresses.
Teach, sister, teach.
I like it is.
Teach, sister.
Again, I'm not knocking the world. Yahweh said tell the truth.
That's it. That's where we about our business.
Let's stand up and we had a discussion, and Yahweh said, everybody doesn't know everything, only Yahweh does.
That's
Amen.
It's not a shame to admit that you don't know
Right.
everything. I was talking to a brother on the phone, he was saying something about, isn't that where that scripture's at? And I said, brother, don't start me to lying. When we get to concordance, I'll tell you in a couple of minutes after I look it up.
Praise the mighty Yah.
The world has this idea, if you're up behind the pulpit or if you're doing this or that, then you're supposed to know no, you're not. Yahweh knows everything.
That's right.
He said depend on Him. I don't have to know everything.
Hallelujah.
All I have to know is that I'm dependent on Him.
Hallelujah.
That's right.
And that He's the one that I need to show me how to do this. So again, the only way that we can get right is to admit that we were wrong.
Is that right?
And there's not a day where you're not going to find out, or when you find out, if Yahweh shows you that you're wrong, you better get right.
That's it.
You better not be concerned about who is going to find out,
I
or
know,
it's going
right?
to make you look bad, or this, that, and the other. Forget all that.
Right.
That has nothing to do with it. When your mind is right and people see that you want to be right, they'll be drawn to Yahweh. Because Yahweh says to admit when you miss the mark.
Okay.
All right? As long as you're human, you can miss the mark.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean you have to, but you can. So don't be so hard on yourself like you can't ever make a mistake.
Right.
And those that love Yahweh love you and understand you can make a mistake.
Yes.
And if they fall out with you because you make a mistake or because you don't know everything or because you can't quote it off the top of your head,
Okay.
then let them fall out.
I know, they ain't no
It's like, go ahead, see you.
Right.
All right?
Teach, sister. Teach.
Okay, let's go back to the New Testament, Luke, the 2nd chapter. Luke, the 2nd chapter. So the Bible repeatedly speaks of virginity with respect and honor.
Okay.
Luke 2. Luke 2. And we're going to start at verse 36. Maybe you can use this reference for this older lady to let you know that she was a virgin when she married.
Okay.
Luke 2. And we want verse 36.
Luke 3, Yahweh.
Matthew, Mark, Luke. Luke 2. Okay, let's read verse 36, please.
And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of great age and had lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity.
All right, so her husband died 7 years after they were married. It says, and there was Akkad Anna, a Nabi or prophetess,
Okay.
Habbath, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. This is Israel.
Okay.
She was of a great age and had Kaya with Iysh 7 years from her virginity. Now, is that somehow Yahweh used that as a reference? Why? Because that's precious.
That's right.
That's a good landmark.
That's
Yep.
right.
All right, verse 37.
And she was a widow of about 4 years, which departed not from the temple, but served Elohim with fasting and prayers night and day.
So through her marriage and everything, she still stayed faithful to Yahweh.
Okay.
She was 84 years old.
Right.
Wow.
She stayed at Habayat of the temple, and she ebbed Elohim with fastings and Palal Atifala, Layil and Yowm, day and night. Faithful, stayed faithful her whole life. Remember, virgins started out as those that cared the most for Yahweh. Well, naturally, the devil wants to mess that up.
Okay. Yeah.
So you start out messed up before you even, in your virgin state, being ignorant.
Right.
And that's why he wanted, our forefathers to be ignorant and cut off from Yahweh. But now, we're hooked back up to
Yes,
Yahweh.
we are. Praise the mighty Yah.
All right, verse 38.
And she, coming in that instant, gave thanks likewise unto Yahweh, and spake of him to all them that looked for redemption in Jerusalem.
Now what she did was she came in, Yahweh, Ruach HaKodesh told her, this is the Savior that's coming in as a babe. And immediately she was in the temple day and night, and she came and Yahweh let her be a part of seeing Yahshua as a baby. She coming in that instant. Again, there's no accidents, there's no coincidences.
Oh, no.
There's divine appointments. Then there's satanic appointments.
Okay.
There's no luck.
Oh, no.
Things don't just happen. She coming in that instant gave Torah likewise unto Yahweh and Amar of him to all them that look for redemption in Jerusalem. Read down the account, you'll see she was looking at Yahshua and his parents.
Is that right?
That was at the temple. Yahweh blessed her to see him.
Hallelujah.
All right, let's go back to Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. We're looking at how Yahweh speaks of virginity with respect. Deuteronomy 22. And we have been returned to that virgin
Yes,
state.
we have.
We're spiritual virgins.
That's right.
But there are some of our children that are natural virgins, and we want to keep that way until Yahweh says
Right.
they are to come out of that state. Because we don't want to mess up the blood covenant that Yahweh has instituted
Hallelujah.
within man and woman coming together. Deuteronomy 22, Let's start at verse 23, please.
Praise
Deuteronomy
the mighty
22 and verse 23. We just want to look at who our people are
Okay.
Okay.
and who Yahweh
That's
has
who we
returned
are.
us to. All right, 22, 23.
If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her.
So you see how it keeps talking about that virginity
Okay.
and be engaged. All right, it says, but if a woman that's a virgin be engaged unto a Iyshshah husband, and a man find her in the city, and he lies with her, he rapes her, verse 24.
Then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones, that they die. The damsel, because she cried, not being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you.
Now, he may or may not have forced her. It just says they came together sexually, and she was a virgin. They said, you shall bring them both out of that city, because they were in the city. So somebody could have heard her.
Right,
She
right,
could have
right,
cried
right,
out and could have
right,
been
right.
rescued. So it could have even been that she was consenting, but the whole thing was, that's whorish behavior. Yahweh said, you don't
That
do
right.
that. He said, you bring them both out unto the gate of the city. This is where our forefathers grew up. This is us.
Okay.
This is our people.
Y'all right,
And this is the creator, the maker of the universe is telling us.
Hallelujah.
This is how you look at that. And you shall sewer or stone them with sewer stones, that they move or die. The woman, because she didn't cry out like she was being wronged.
Right,
Just imagine how many of our people will be dead. You talking about genocide
I know, right?
pronounced on the
I'm
nation of
telling
Israel? Please. You look at all those people that Yahweh killed in the wilderness.
right.
All these, people not crying out. All of them would have been dead. Says, she didn't cry out in being in the city, and the man, because he had humbled his neighbor's Iyshshah. So she was betrothed, engaged to somebody else. But she didn't cry out, so something's going on there. They're gonna both be killed. He said, that's how you put away raw or evil from among you.
Right. That's
Now,
how
we
you
don't
gotta
take
roll.
anybody out and stone them now.
Not now.
What we do is we tell them what Yahweh said.
Right.
That's right.
Now, after that, they make a choice. Yahweh didn't say follow anybody around, beat them over the head with your Bible.
No.
He didn't say follow anybody around, nagging them and nagging them and nagging them until they get it. He did not say put anybody in a full Nelson or half Nelson after you read them the scripture if they don't cooperate. He did not say that. He said you tell them, because his word
That's right.
has
Just
such
plant that
force.
seed.
You plant that seed. If they want it planted,
Right.
if they don't reject it, it's going to get in there and it's going to do, the seed has the power within itself.
Yes,
It's got
it does.
Yahweh's DNA in it. He
Hallelujah.
don't need you to go behind him with a baseball bat or
Right,
nothing
right.
else. No physical force. He just needs you to speak it out of your
That's
mouth
how it is.
and live it.
That's it. Praise the mighty Yah.
Don't do like my uncle did when I was 13 years old. He was smoking a cigarette and he wouldn't really smoke it. He just had it hanging on the corner of his mouth. And you just say, oh yeah, don't smoke, don't smoke. So one night, nobody was there but me and my older brother. And guess what? I decided I was going to smoke.
Let me go check it out.
And then guess who came in the door with me with the cigarette in my mouth? But what it was he was a hypocrite.
Right.
He was telling me the right thing, but in front of me, what was he doing?
Sean.
So I can tell my children all kind of stuff, but in front of them, what am I doing? And actions do speak louder than words.
Good.
And what it says is I'm a hypocrite. I need to keep my mouth shut and not say
Right.
anything. All right? It says he's humbled his neighbor's wife. This word humble is found at Strong's number Hebrew 6031, and that's anah. That means he's afflicted, he's forced, he's weakened her. So we as women became weakened when our virginity was taken in ignorance. We became weakened. But praise Yahweh, he brought us back to him, and now we're strong in him. Right, we're strong in Yahweh and the power of his might.
Yes.
Whatever the devil thought he was stealing and killing and taking from us,
That's right.
Yahweh has restored it.
Sure
And Yahweh said, if thief be caught, he shall be made to restore sevenfold.
Right.
And that's what he's doing now. He's restoring us
Hallelujah.
to us sevenfold.
Hallelujah.
And I speak that to you in Yahshua's name.
We
Receive
receive
it
it,
now.
we believe it, receive it back
Hallelujah.
to you.
Praise Yahweh.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Verse 25.
But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die.
All right, so now this is the case of rape.
Right,
You
right.
see, it said,
Oh, okay.
if
Right.
an Adam find an engaged damsel in the field, talking about a virgin, and the Adam force her, that's talking about rape,
Right.
and lie with her, then Adam only that lie with her shall move, die.
Okay.
So all these rapists out of here would have been dead.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Should be.
Verse 26.
But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel a man riseth against his neighbor, and saith him, even so is this matter.
Okay, read that again. I think you might have skipped.
Yeah.
26 again,
Yeah.
please.
But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death.
Yes.
For as when a man riseth against his neighbor, and saith him, even so is this matter.
All right, so he's saying because they were in the field, she cried, but nobody heard her.
Okay.
All right, but the other woman was in the city and didn't cry.
Right.
Right.
All right, so it says she's not guilty. There is in the virgin no hata'ah worthy of mavet or death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor and killeth him, even so in this matter. So he's teaching ancient Israel how to judge between what's right and what's wrong. Not only them, he's teaching modern Israel.
Yeah.
Because we got cut off from Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
We're relearning
Yes,
or
we are.
learning for the first time
Yep.
things that we didn't know.
All right.
All right, verse 27.
For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her.
So she did her part. She cried
Right.
out, but there was
Praise
none
the
to
mighty
save
God.
her. All right, let's go. We're in the Old Testament. Let's go to Genesis. So every other nationality, Genesis the 20th chapter, every other nationality, you need to know this, Israel, is lusting after the prize virgins
That's right.
of Israel.
The man and woman.
They want you. They want me. First, because the devil wants to interfere with Yahweh's plans.
Yep.
And second, because we're the virtuous people of Yahweh.
Got right.
And the devil's all about spoiling and messing up and dirtying up and just making something look so horrible and worthless. And then third, because we are physically desirable.
Got right.
We're handsome.
We're the most beautiful people on the earth.
Everybody want to hook up with you. And then they try to, make your self-esteem be so low that you'll just take any piece of garbage.
Right.
Remember years
That's how it
ago,
is,
I
Rod.
had a boss, and they lived over there in Hyde Park, and over in Hyde Park, the thing was to have interracial couples.
Okay.
And I remember my boss, he was a Shemite. Didn't know he was Shemite, he was an atheist. But he had a black Iyshshah. He had a Shemite for Iyshshah. But then he had a relative who, they had lots of money and everything. And he had Go'i for his Iyshshah. And I remember the wife of my boss, the Shemite wife, was telling me he got her at a restaurant somewhere serving, waiting on tables. But the whole thing was, just get that, what Master said you can't have. So, she got the prize. He didn't get the prize, but with him being spiritually dead, he was
Right,
thinking it was the other way around. It's a trap.
Right.
So every other nationality is lusting after you the prize virgins of Yisrael.
Okay.
They want you. Because the devil wants to interfere with Yahweh's plan.
That's it.
Because we're the virtuous people of Yahweh. Because we're physically desired.
Hallelujah.
Just look at these ball players and stuff. Who's hanging around?
European.
Look at this golfer. I won't mention the name. Again, they're spiritually dead. And they think, I made it. Just
Right,
like
right.
Israel think, I made it, so go get me some shrimp and some lobster. That's the best thing out there. And that's the most filthiest thing.
I know, y'all right,
Again, the devil brainwashed us. I was there too.
That's
He
right.
brainwashed
We
us.
all
To
there.
tell the truth.
You can see the whole world.
Genesis 20, let's start at verse 1, please.
Hallelujah.
Genesis 20 and verse 1. Now this is you now. 20 and verse 1.
And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Passanis and Shareth, and sojourned in Gerar.
2.
And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister. And Amalek, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah.
Now here is Abraham and Sarah, and they're going through what you call Africa, or you can say the Middle East. Either way, it was all black folks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it says, and Abraham, Amar of Sarah, here's Iyshshah. She was his wife. She's my batch. She's my sister. Why? Because he knew Sarah looked good. He knew that everybody lusting after us. He said, I better say she's my sister. They're going to kill me and take her.
Yeah.
All right? And it said, and Abimelech, this Hamite king, this African, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Because why? She looked good. And it wasn't because she was light-skinned like me.
Right.
We had said last week or week before, when you read fair in the Bible, there was a documentary on, either last year or the year before, where it was talking about light-skinned women, and they kept using the word fair because I'm fair. That's not what fair means. Fair means you look good.
Right.
Fair means you're beautiful. You can be jet black.
That's right.
Fair means beautiful.
That's right.
And fair means, what is it,
Right.
36, 24,
Yeah.
36. And fair means you look good.
Right.
There's no black Africans lusting after nobody because they light skinned. All right? Even though we women been sold a bill of goods, and you can see some of our beautiful sisters from the land of Ham, and you see that peeling on their cheeks, and that's from them using this bleaching cream, trying to get their skins to be lighter, because they think that that will make them more attractive. No, that's just a holdover from slavery.
That's
And from then, what is it? Apartheid. Trying to convince you that white is right and this looks better than that. That's why we see all these sisters walking up and down the street, got hair down to their ankle, which is not theirs. Again, it's just part of the brainwashing.
Right.
And Yahweh's bringing us up out of that. I'm not knocking them, but it's time to tell
Right.
the truth.
That's it. That's what we're
It's time for
about.
us to return to wholeness.
That's it.
And Yahweh wants to take
Amen.
us there. All right, so he took her because she looked good. And Abraham says she's my sister because he didn't want to be killed
Right.
and have him take her. All right, verse 3.
But Elohim came to Amram in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, but the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife.
See, Yahweh knows how to step in and protect us. We don't have to go trying to fight our battles and defend ourselves
Said
against
battles
people.
is.
It said, but Elohim came to Abimelech in a dream by Layil, and Amar to him, Behold, thou art but a Muth Adam, you but a dead man. He said, For Iyshshah that you have taken, she is a Adam's Iyshshah. She's a man's wife.
Okay.
And really what he's saying is, this is my chosen people, get your hands off. That's the same thing he says about you and me.
Hallelujah.
When anybody gets too close, or when anybody tries to bring up something against you, Yahweh's doing the same thing he did for
That's right.
Abraham.
Fighting our battles.
He said, you but a dead man. All right, verse 4.
But Abimelech
Abimelech.
had not come near her, and he said, Yahweh, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation.
All right, so he said, okay.
No.
He came to me and he said, you're going to slay somebody that's righteous? I said, wait a minute, I haven't touched her.
Right.
I haven't gone into her.
Right.
Abimelech had not come near her, and he Amar, ooh, Yahweh, will you slay also a Sadiq? Go we? He said, you're going to slay a righteous nation? I haven't done anything wrong.
Right.
That's wrong for him to take it, but again, they're lusting after us.
Yeah.
All right, verse 5.
Said he not unto me, she is my sister. And she herself said, he is my brother, in the integrity of my heart, and in terms of my hands have I done this.
So he said, I did this in integrity and innocency, and then you can read the rest of the account where he actually gave her up. He told Abraham, look, here she is. What
Right.
you tell me that for? Get out of here. Don't.
Right. Take
All right.
all this with you.
All right, we're in Genesis. Go to chapter 26. But the point is, they're looking for the prize virgins of Yisrael.
Praise
That's why the
mighty
slave
God.
master came in our great grandfather and grandmother. Now the slave master would come to the shack, but the woman,
Yeah.
the slave master's wife, would have the men of Israel up in her bedroom when her
Come to the
husband
big
was
house.
gone. Either way, the whole point was to compromise what Yahweh is doing.
Okay.
Genesis 26, and let's start at verse 6, please.
Hallelujah.
And I dwelt in Europe,
All right, so now they're in the same place, Gira. All right, verse 7.
and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, she is my sister, for he feared to say, she is my wife. Least, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon.
All right, so
Oh, no.
same place now, and not just the king now. Well, the king took the best, right? So he was the first, like, here, that's mine. It says, and Ha'adam of that place asked him of his Iyshshah, talking about Rivka,
Okay.
Amar, she's my best, she's my sister. Because he feared to Amar, she's my Iyshshah, lest Amar, he that Ha'adam of this place should kill me for Rivka. Because she looked good too. It says because she was fair to look upon. That means she was beautiful.
Right,
That don't
right.
mean she was light skinned.
That right. Y'all right.
She could have been light skinned, but that does
Right.
not mean, go look it up in the Hebrew. Fair
Okay.
does not mean light skinned. It means that she looked good and these other men wanted her.
That right.
All right? Verse 8.
And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife.
All right, now I don't know if this is the same king of Abimelech, but I know this is years later.
Right.
But it said it came to pass when Yitzchak had been there a long time, that Abimelech, Melech of the Philistines, looked out the window of his palace and he saw that Yitzchak was doing something, kind of playing around
Yeah.
like husbands and wives do. And then it's like, okay, something is not right here. Okay, verse 9.
And Abimelech called Isaac and said, behold, of a surety, she is thy wife. And how saidest thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, because I said, least I die for her.
Now it kind of sounds like the king found out this beautiful woman was there and the man was trying to get her. It sounds like he took her for himself. But Abimelech, now he's talking to Isaac. He kara Yitzchak and Amar. Behold of a surety, she is thy Iyshshah. And how says thou, she is my bad? And Yitzchak Amar unto him, because I am Amar, lest I die for her, lest I move for her.
Right.
Lest you all kill me. And
Right.
if she look good, y'all kill me and take her out of the way. All right, verse 10.
And Abimelech said, what is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might likely have leaned with my wife, and thou shouldst have brought guiltiness upon us.
Verse 11.
And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he that touch her, this man or his wife, shall surely be put to
See
death.
how Yahweh stepped in
Right,
and protected
right.
them in? And Abimelech Amar, what is this that you have done? One of Ham might lightly have lying or lain with your Iyshshah, and then you should have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech commanded all his people, saying, he that touches this man or his Iyshshah shall surely be put to Mavet or death. All right, we're in the Old Testament. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. So Yahweh warned his people. He warned his people about strangers lusting after them. And he told us how we are to respond. Because they're going to come now.
That right?
And he told you how to respond. Deuteronomy 7, let's start reading at verse 1.
Hallelujah.
7th chapter.
Yes, Deuteronomy 7th chapter. We want to start reading at verse 1.
When Yahweh thy Elohim shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hemonites,
Hittites,
Hittites, and the
Girgashites,
Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the
Perizzites,
Perizzites, and the Havites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations, greater and mightier than thou.
Now Yahweh is saying now, okay, I'm bringing you into these people. This is how I want you to mingle with them. He didn't say be an island, but he said when you interact with people, there's a certain protocol. It hasn't changed. Only Israel, spiritually dead Israel, separated from Yahweh, has changed. Yahweh hasn't changed. He said, when Yahweh the Elohim shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, well, we're possessing over here in the United States of America. So it doesn't mean just because I'm out of Israel, I can go get me a Caucasian.
Y'all right, Ron. Tell like it is.
I don't want one for a husband. I don't want no Chinese, Japanese,
That's right.
and I got nothing against them.
Nothing against it. It's thus says
Yahweh
Yahweh.
blessed me to understand how prized the men of Israel are.
That's right.
It said, when you go to possess it, and it's cast out many goe or nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites, these are all what are now called Africans.
Okay,
The
y'all right,
Perizzites and the
Ron.
Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 goe greater and mightier than you. He said, when you get there, whatever land you're in, when you get there, you just happen to be talking about Israel, the land of Israel then, but he's talking about your land wherever you are. Verse 2.
And when Yahweh thy Elohim shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them.
Now again, Yahweh is showing us he has these blood covenants. That's what it's about. The blood covenants of Yahweh. He shall take a virgin of the nation of Israel. Said, when Yahweh the Elohim shall deliver them before thee, he said, you shall smite them and utterly destroy them. You shall make no bereavement, no covenant with them.
Okay.
When a husband and wife come together before they're married, the wife's supposed to be a virgin and the husband's supposed to be a virgin. That's making a covenant with them. And not just because we were spiritually dead and messed up, that don't mean, okay, you messed that part up, so now you can skip and you can get a stranger to be with you.
No.
No.
Thus says Yahweh.
And you can look at me with 2 eyes and 4 heads if you want. I'm just reading what
Thus
Yahweh
says
said.
Yahweh.
And this is how it is. And Yahweh knows best for us.
Yes, he does.
That's right.
See, we think that we know best, but Yahweh really knows what's best.
That's right, sister.
He said, make no covenant with them. Don't even show hased. Don't even show mercy unto them. Verse 3.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them, thy daughter. Thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Now, who started saying this in verse 1? That's Yahweh talking.
Thus says Yahweh.
He said, neither shall you make marriages with them. Thy bond you shall not give unto his bond,
Okay.
nor his bond shall you take unto thy bond. That's
Okay.
clear.
Yeah.
Verse 4.
For they will turn away thy son from the following me, that they may serve other mighty ones, so will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you and destroy these settlements.
So now, in these relationships, if we get found in one, guess who's going to get punished?
Read.
Yeah, the one that Yahweh told.
Yeah.
For they will turn away thy bond from following me. See, this is a life or death
That's
thing.
what it is.
This is not just a, well, some people just have different choices.
Huh.
No. We all got the same choice. They will turn away your son from following me, that they may inherit other else. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you and me. Because we're the ones that he told.
Yep.
And destroy you suddenly. We're in the Old Testament. Let's go to Numbers 25th chapter. So Yahweh commanded them to avoid strangers as husbands and wives. And there's no such thing as boyfriend and girlfriend.
No.
So that wasn't even something that was supposed to exist.
Right.
And baby daddy and baby mama, that's something made from a whole culture of wickedness.
That's it.
From
Got right,
spiritual
bro.
deadness separated from
That's
Yahweh.
it.
Now it is what it is. Don't judge the people, but just
Right.
recognize that Hasatan has created a whole different culture
Yes,
out
he
here.
has deceived the whole world.
So Yahweh commanded us to avoid strangers for husbands and wives at all costs.
Right.
To not participate spiritually in degrading ourselves with them.
Right.
And it's not just natural, but spiritual
That's what it's
degradation for us to join with strangers.
Right.
Numbers 25. Now, it'll feel good to you, but lake of fire not going to feel so good.
Okay.
Numbers 25, let's start reading at verse 6.
Hallelujah.
And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a
Midianites.
Midianitish woman
Huh.
in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
All right, so now here, this brother parading Midianite, in other words, it's a Hamite.
Yeah.
Behold, one of her band of Yisrael came and brought unto his ark. He bring it to the brothers, this woman, this stranger, even though she was black.
Right.
Yahweh said, no, I want you to marry among yourselves.
Right.
He put a wide assortment, and the only reason that somebody would not marry among Israel is they're lusting,
Okay.
and they're in rebellion against what Yahweh
That's
said.
it.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I am more than a conqueror. I'm waking up out of nightmares, gas for breath. Living in these last days, enemies after my death. Palms can't hold these tears, heart was cold for years, only to find out the enemy was in the mirror.